Today we are going to make a Ven Pongal, which is a very popular South Indian dish. The ingredients we need is 1 cup of rice, any rice, and half cup of split green gram or moong dal. And rice and dal soak clean, and then we rinse and take it. And I'm going to cook it in the Instant Pot today. Let's start with a little oil, and I'm putting one green chili in it, a small piece of ginger to flavor the rice and dal, and saute that for some time now. Once the raw flavor of the ginger is gone, we are going to add the rice lentil mix and little bit asafetida, which is very useful for cooking beans, and little bit turmeric, maybe 1/4 teaspoon, just to have a little yellow color. And I'm going to add the rice lentil mix at this point and saute it for some time to get the flavors to the rice. Now I'm going to add some water. Usually the rice dal water ratio is whatever measure you have, 4 times of water, so it will cook very smooth. So I'm going to add a little bit salt. It's a half teaspoon I just added. If you need, you can add more. Then add 4 cups of water, and now we are going to cover the pot and cook for 10 minutes. This will cook very fast in the Instant Pot, so it just cooks in 10 minutes. Now I'm going to start with the tadka for the pongal. I'm going to add some oil. I'm using sunflower oil here. Just let the oil heat a little bit. The key ingredient for pongal is the black pepper. We are going to add 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and the best when pongal tastes when the black pepper crackled, or each and every black pepper. So you have to cook that for a little bit time. You can hear the sound, crackling sound. It has to be, then only the flavors of the black pepper will come into that oil and flavor the whole dish. Now we are going to add 1 teaspoon of cumin. The rice and dal is ready now. And I think we have to add a little more water because it's kind of a sticky texture now. I'm going to add a little more water and let it boil some time. So it will come like a risotto texture. That's what we are looking for. Meantime, my black peppers are crackling here. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon cumin. The main flavors for the pongal are 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of cumin, and we add a handful of cashews, and finally a very South Indian cooking, we add curry leaves for flavor. So once this is kind of little bit golden brown, I'm going to add the curry leaves, and let's garnish at the end. And then we add the clarified butter. That is the main flavor for the dish. and that makes the pongal very rich also. So you can add up to 1 tablespoon of ghee at this point. But I'm going to add only a teaspoon just for the flavor. But usually at the temples, when they serve this, they add a lot of ghee. Now let's transfer everything into the rice ladle mixture, and our Ven Pongal is ready to serve. Look at the color. It's a very inviting, yellow color, and the texture is very rich and creamy texture. And usually it will be served in banana leaves, so the flavor of the banana leaves also comes. Now we are starting the onion chutney, which I'm going to serve today with the pongal. So starting half an onion, chopping it up finely, because you don't really, you don't have to chop it very finely, because we are going to grind it at the end. And I'm using small 4 green chilies, but even if it is small, it's very spicy because it's the green pepper of the cayenne, so it's spicy, the regular green pepper that you get from Indian store here. And a little piece, probably an inch piece of ginger, and of course cilantro. I'm going to use the stem of the cilantro for the saute first, and the leaves I'm going to keep it for garnishing at the end. Now let's start cooking. The oil is hot. Once the oil is hot, we are going to add onion, chopped onion, ginger, pepper mix. Okay, so we are going to add some spices. 1 teaspoon mustard, half teaspoon cumin, half teaspoon black pepper, half a teaspoon of fennel, little bit asafetida, a pinch, that is 1/8 spoon, half a teaspoon of turmeric, and half a teaspoon of red chili powder. So while the oil is getting hot, the spices are roasted first, and we are going to add the onion, chopped onion, and all other ingredients I chopped, and we saute it a little bit, and then we are going to add the tomatoes into it. Anyway, we are going to blend, use the blender to make it into a little coarse paste, which has the regular chutney texture. So that's what we are going to do. So the size of the pieces doesn't matter. Anyway, we are going to blend it. I'm going to add little salt. That will help the onions cook a little bit faster. I added half a teaspoon of salt at this point, and let's saute it a little bit, and the onions are cooked a little bit. And at this point I have chopped tomatoes, which I used 3 raw tomatoes chopped up fine. I'm adding 1/4 teaspoon of salt at this point. So the salt will help bring the tomatoes water and cook it better, faster. So that's why I'm adding salt in different stages here. We are not adding too much salt. And for finally, for bringing all the flavor together, I'm adding like 1/4 teaspoon of sugar. This I'm adding a small piece of jaggery, which is equivalent to a 1/4. We are not adding too much sugar. It's just to bring the flavors together. So it's 1/4 teaspoon of sugar. It's a spicy dish, not sugar sweet dish. I'm going to blend it into a smooth texture, one or two, quick blends, and then bring it back and cook it a little more. And just bring, if there is a lot of liquid in it, just to let that evaporate. That's all we need, and just stir it a little bit. And I think this is perfectly done at this point. I'm going to add my chopped coriander leaves at this point, cilantro, and the chutney is ready. So I'm going to serve now the chutney, pongal today. And I made a sweet pongal also, which I'm going to serve it with it, and the final presentation is like this. I'm going to serve a piece of lemon pickle on the side. That is better with pongal, any kind of pickle. And it can be served with coconut chutney. Pongal and sambar is a good combination. And this is my final dish.